right, ladies and gentlemen, so while we try to get everything back up and running here to get things back up, I appreciate everyone jumping over. Again, this is the nature of the beast. Every once in a while, new PC build, new things. I've done hours upon hours of testing in this thing at this point to try to find what could be broken, what's working. Haven't had a single issue, but you never have an issue in test, do you? It's always in production that the first problem actually happens. So with all that being said, thanks for jumping over here to I guess what I'm going to call part 2 of this run here. It's still Brad, it's still Patrick. Patrick, this race has been fun so far.
It has been. I mean, even with all the tech issues aside, I mean, and trust me, I got my fair share of stories on the tech issue department, but we have seen some fantastic racing here. And I mean, a perfect cinematic finish to the end of this already cinematic season. This has definitely been a fun season to commentate. I'm glad to have been here for every single race this season. It's good racing, good driving, and overall it has been a blast. I'm gonna be sad to see the season go, but luckily we don't have to wait long at all for it to come back.
We don't at all, and some of the things I can tell you, looking at some of the information that has been said for next season, is the fact that, well, we're gonna have caution flags and pace laps next season. So that is going to be really exciting to see. The idea that we will get pace laps in and restarts, that is going to be a very, very exciting thing to watch and get to enjoy. I'm very excited to see how the league implements that as they go through and along this season. I'm very excited to see. I believe LMP2s are returning, if I'm not incorrect. I could be incorrect on that. Don't quote me, but that is what I'm going to tell you, as Austin Diltz is putting on some major pressure here on Eric Mack going through and continuing to push and challenge. This is a very, very good one to watch here of these two drivers going along and continuing to keep this battle alive as they go. Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting next season. I'm very excited to see where things go for the league, where things move through, and just sort of overall see where battles go. We have hit half race distance now, just over half race distance with 41 minutes left to go here. Patrick, I'm going to ask you to think back really quick. What is your favorite moment through the whole season if you had to name one?
Honestly, it's probably well, if we're talking about just comedy, then definitely the bit we had in Long Beach where I was trying to come up with a pun for the jet blue car that was on track. But in terms of just on-track action, probably from the same race, I'd have to say seeing Bill Gallo in that wingless Mercedes just fight tooth and nail with other drivers and actually even get some good overtakes done.
I definitely think that was a good one. I think my favorite race of the season is we're going to go all the way back to Fuji. I just think Fuji overall, it was a good energy race. It felt good. There were good battles, good challenges all the way through. Just like this challenge right now between Aiden Garcia and Luke Patrick going side by side. Let's see if Luke can hold off Aiden Garcia, and does so. Great move there from him to go through. And now outside's going to turn to inside. Let's see how they switch back around through. And definitely Aiden gets a better run through the chicane than Luke does, but they continue to push, apply pressure, and bring their way along. Aiden thought about a move to the inside, doesn't take it. Definitely thought about it though, and continues to battle his way through.
Indeed, it's been a good run for him here too. So we'll see if he can keep up this level of performance, as Luke Patrick is going to go in and definitely try to get away from the pressure that's being put on him right now. So we'll see how this is going to all play out. I mean, there's still a good amount of racing left to go here. Still about a little under 40 minutes left to go here in this race. We've already been doing this for quite some time now, And we're going to go ahead and just continue watching this awesome battle between Aiden Garcia and Luke Patrick. This is going to be such a fantastic battle to go ahead and keep our eyes on. I don't think we're going to be able to get our eyes off of this battle, although granted, there's going to be some other battles that spawn in here that are just going to be so much fun to watch. That's just the nature of Elbows Out Racing in general, is that there's always such good battles that are just happening here. Pretty much in every single race. I can't even think of a single race where we didn't have a ton of beautiful battles going on.
Yeah, another good battle here just ahead. Eric Mack and Austin Diltz as they try to work their way around. I believe that was Christopher Ondera. They just worked their way through as they go along and continue to battle their way through. This is the battle for P3 in class as they stand, and we'll see them continue to battle. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, while we take a second, we try to get everything back together and make sure we're back on our P's and Q's. We are going to do something that I haven't done here with Elbows Out. I've done temporarily loud engines. I've enjoyed temporarily loud engines. We will have a temporarily loud engines here tonight. Don't you worry. We are not going to do that on a season finale. But as cars continue to go along and through, we're actually going to take a side-by-side. That is something that I don't think I've done. So stand by here just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go side-by-side. We'll let you enjoy the race, and we'll be back in just a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was a quick side-by-side just to make sure everything's up, running, going good. I think everything's up, going, running good on our side, and if it's not, well, you didn't hear it from me that it was up, running, going good. We're back here live pictures because guess what's happening? I'll give you one guess. You should only need one guess, and it's not just on-track battles, it's pit stops. Plenty and plenty of pit stops that are happening here. Stennick's in the pits. Paul Nye Sr. is into the pits. We also have going through Navin Thepamagar has made their pit. Peter Nodwell has made their pit. We'll pull up here the live pit counts on the right-hand side so that way you can see as drivers pit in who is pitting where, who's doing what. LMP2s have done some pit stops. We are going to lose a little bit of info just because of that crash of who has already pit, who hasn't. So there might be a little bit of a discrepancy there on who's been where, but we should be able to kind of feel that one out as we go along here. Colin Bourdon is currently putting pressure on Brian Metterly as they go through, but battles continue to develop. Things continue to go through. A majority of your GT3 field has hit in this run. Some of the LMPs have taken a first pit stop. Aiden Garcia hasn't pit yet. Austin Diltz hasn't pit yet. Or at least I don't have info that they've pit. Maybe they have. Maybe they're going to two-stop. I don't know. Now, here's the thing, Patrick. I don't want your thoughts on this. In elbows out, we know that you have to make one mandatory pit stop that is 4 tires and fuel. If you're the LMP2s, do you try to stretch the fuel so far that that one pit stop is all you need, or is it better to do a second pit stop of fuel only and splash and dash to the end? Which would you do?
I would have to look at my instrumentation and see like, and just try to kind of think about like, okay, do I have enough fuel to try to make it to the end, or am I gonna have to do the splash and dash? It really depends on what position if I'm in. If I'm in the position of Ackley or Peridotto, I would just try to stretch it to the end there. Even Eric Mack, I would try to stretch it. If I'm in like the midfield for this, well, actually, let me go ahead and just say it like this. If I'm in the front, if I'm on the front running cars, then I would try to stretch it. If I'm in the midfield or backfield in this LP2 category, I would try to go for the splash and dash. Maybe something a bit extra, gives me a bit of extra opportunity to push. And then maybe I can kind of make up some of that ground once the other cars have to start saving their fuel and doing some fuel conservation exercises.
Yeah, I definitely think it's very much 6 one way, half the dozen the other. No, when you think about it and you kind of see what's going to be the better option. And I don't have a solid answer for what's the better option, but definitely there is a better option to be found between the two, and someone's going to figure it out. Paul Nye currently putting pressure on Navin Thapamagar. They flipped positions in the pit stop here by about 4 seconds. Paul had a slower pit stop than Navin, so I'm curious to see here what Paul can do to get that lead back in GT3 Pro as they go through. Currently leader in GT3 AM is Parker Chiapuzzo. Parker Chiapuzzo does, of course, still need to pit, though. Kyle O'Grady has been in the pits here and is running P2 in AM. Currently about 20 seconds back from Chiapuzzo and should be able to take that lead back when it's all said and done. Calvin Tobin's coming out here. Navin's going through. Paul Nye is right there in the mix as well. So plenty of battles continue to develop their way up and down the field.
Indeed, and I think that's going to be the nature of this kind of pit stop cycle, is that you have some drivers trying to go for the overcut, some trying to go for the undercut, and drivers are just going to have to try to make these strategic decisions on the fly that they're going to have to go and try to work with here. I mean, that's the interesting thing, because usually in our regular 60-minute races, that there's usually one common time where everybody tries to make a pit stop. But now with an extra 30 minutes tacked onto it, then you pretty much that strategy window gets blown wide open, especially if you're in the GT3 field, because you could pit earlier to try to go ahead and give yourself more fuel to push later, or try to extend so your car is lighter with less fuel towards the end. I mean, there's so many different options that you have here, and quite a lot of variety when it comes to the strategy, so it makes it really interesting on the strategy front, and I'd be curious to hear the driver's thoughts after the race.
I definitely think the drivers are going to have a lot of thoughts here, and we'll see who's available to speak with after the race and kind of what their thoughts were going through. Tyler Stinick, I'll tell you right now, is going to be having some thoughts trying to get past Callan Tobin. Going to send it up the inside here. BMW versus the Mustang going down the front stretch. They go over the bricks, and let's see what happens here. Vosselman's into the pits, and this is going to be the run down into turn number 1 as they go down the inside. Is going to be Stinick. That number 1 BMW goes through, gets the great run, and is going to come through, is able to get past Callan Tobin, but has 8 seconds to Paul Nye Sr. We'll see if he's able to get any sort of a run and close up that 8 seconds with 30 minutes. 3-0, count them, 30 minutes to go here in this race. Currently sitting down back of the back. I always want to check it with the fan favorites. Nathan Hemperly, 1.7 seconds back from Daniel Panero, running a good run and should be able to kind of close that up as we go along. I would not be surprised to see that close in just a little bit. Hemperly currently sitting right there with, that is the number 46 who is around him, and that number 46 is going to be if I can find them. That's Brian Medderly that they are right behind, currently following through. Brian Medderly in P10 and Pro P19 overall, a lap up currently on Hemperly.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff here. And Brian Medderly has been a fantastic driver as well. He's doing a very good job here on the defense, trying to go ahead and keep Tyler Cook behind. Actually, no, that is not Tyler Cook. That is a different car. My timing screen is not quite up to date. It is Nathan Hemperly, the fan favorite, that is directly behind. Although he's a lap down, so that would make sense on why my timing table wasn't catching it. Anyways, the fan favorite, a lap down on to Brian Medderly now. We'll see how this battle is going to go ahead and play out. Brian Medderly, though, has been pretty strong in that BMW all season, so we'll see what he can do here. He's got quite a gap to the leader here, and he's a few seconds off of the car just up ahead. But I mean, still about 28 minutes left to go of racing. Anything can happen.
Indeed, anything can happen, and that's what you have to be prepared for as we go through. Eric Mack still putting pressure on Austin Diltz at the moment as more and more and more drivers are getting into the pits here. John Javecki is in the pits there. Only a 15-second stop, though. Or no, sorry, that is... It had only been in for 15 seconds. Time is resetting there. John Javecki, 21.4 in and out. So... very, very quick pit stop there from John Javecki in the lead in the GT3 Pros. And a Corvette, nonetheless, going through. So John coming out here, blending into the lane. There goes the leader going through, and Javecki exiting out in a very clean way. Actually gets ahead of Paul Nye Sr. So John is now going to be battling Navin for the overall GT3 lead. This is going to be a spicy one to watch as they go through and continue their battle. Let's see how they get up to speed. Aiden Garcia, we come back in. Aiden Garcia trying to put pressure on Luke Patrick, trying to get around these GT3 cars. That is the 156. Trying to find his way through and around. That is Travis Bell, the pro, who he is just trying to find his way through. This is the traffic frustration coming in.
Indeed, Andy Garcia is going to have to try to get around this Mustang sooner rather than later, so we can go ahead and continue to put pressure on the Luke Patrick. Luke Patrick has been a bit stronger in this traffic management battle here tonight compared to Andy Garcia, so it's going to be, I mean, we know that traffic was going to be a big factor in this race, especially with the extra 30 minutes tacked onto it. But, I mean, sometimes a race can be won or lost based on traffic. So you really got to try to get through this traffic as quickly as possible. But, I mean, just looking at a track map of this course, I mean, you do have some good spots to go ahead and get through that traffic. But there's some other areas where it's really hard to do so, as Aiden Garcia is going to get tucked in behind a Corvette once again through a tricky, more technical part of the circuit, going through turn 7, 8, 9, and then going to go ahead and take on one of the smaller parts of the oval. But through that series of corners, he has lost a little bit of time, but it doesn't look like Luke Patrick got through very cleanly either, so still a lot to play for here for P5 and P6.
That there is. I want to take a second here. We're going to cut through and look at some replays that we have missed. There's been some moments we missed there with that slight tech issue that came through. So let's see what we can catch up on here, as there was a moment. I don't believe we caught this one going through. So this is going to be Christopher Ondera and Wyatt Kennedy that we missed out on. They had a moment together. Let's see, because this started with Wyatt Kennedy going through and around, and yeah, that is Christopher Ondera getting collected as well. So let's go through and cut this one around. So this would have been on board with Ondera. He's exiting out onto the speedway, and I mean, nothing he could do with that one with Wyatt Kennedy through. Peter Nodwell has had a moment as well, it looks like. Peter Nodwell, let's see what happened to him here as we kind of get our bearings with where this was. That was just a slow, casual spin. Aaron Claybaugh was able to make it back into the race, but has had a moment. Let's see what happened here, unfortunately, for Claybaugh. Looks like that is just a peel off and retire the car. Nerney, big run there. Looks like, unfortunately for him, that is a curbing moment. So let's see what happened here as we go back. Yeah, that is just him riding the curb a little bit too much and having a moment there. Some other drivers that have had moments. Mike Sermon having a moment here, it appears, coming through and around. And again, this is the exit onto the speedway. Final corner. There is a slight banking transition there that can catch drivers off guard more than you would think here. Seth Bosselman with a moment as well. It looks like this is the same thing Nerney did, maybe a little bit harder.
Ooh.
Going through. So several drivers getting caught up in different positions all the way up and down the field. Maxwell Woodman C, I can see that he has had an issue here in the Lamborghini. And it looks like the car just Houdiniing from the run. Dayton McGuire having a moment in the Jameson car, and it looks like a spin on his own. So lots of drivers finding this track tricky as they go through and around. But it looks like everybody making their way back onto track, eventually running through. I want to check in on this race lead right now because Cody Perodato with Dylan Ackley, the gap has dropped from, it was 1.5 seconds when we cut to the replays, to now just 4/10 of a second as they go down the main stretch.
So once again, Cody Perodato is still putting on a ton of pressure towards Dylan Ackley, but he hasn't been able to really get past him much, if even at all. So Cody Perodato has had some moments where he's had the opportunity, but has just been unable to officially get that pass done and dusted. So it's unfortunate for Perodato, but luckily the car ahead is just making his debut tonight, so it's really no threat to his championship here, as he pretty much, once he finishes this race, he should be declared champion for LMP2s.
Yeah, should be. I don't think there'll be an issue there as he goes along. He continues the battle, and we got about 20 minutes left in this race, and I tell you what, it's time we bring in someone here who has a touch on the pulse of this league and can maybe give us a little bit of behind-the-scenes info about next season, or maybe just joke around. We'll see how he's feeling. It's Zachary Nerney in the booth here with us. Zach, first of all, you forgot to register the tires, and clearly them and the track didn't agree. So I got to ask, cold tires?
Yeah, cold tires. I was pushing pretty hard trying to stay as close behind Tobin there as I could, and well, you saw the result.
Yeah, we did. We did see the result. It was kind of rough, not gonna lie, but very clearly the infield care center checks came back good. No harm, no foul for you.
Yeah, they said I should sit out next week, but I'm not gonna.
That does not surprise me a bit here as we watch some of these battles on screen go through. Tell us about next week. Next week is going to be an interesting one. Week 13 fun coming around. Why don't you kind of tell us what that's going to be about?
Yeah, so it's going to be a multi-class race at USA International on the pavement. We are going to have all the GT3 cars as well as the new Aston Martin and LMP2 cars.
It's going to be fun. Any predictions for how that race is going to go with things? I know that turning off damage, turning off cautions, it's going to be, a fun race. Everybody can just unwind. But do we have a prediction for who's going to win or who's going to run what class? What's going to happen? Give me your bold prediction.
I don't know who's going to win. I think it's anybody's game there. Whoever gets hit the least, I would say, is going to win that race.
I think that's valid to say. I would argue that is very valid to say and kind of go through. Talking about next season, let's kind of jump past week 13 and let's jump to 2025 season 4. Cautions are coming in. Now, I think that's going to be interesting to go through, and can you kind of explain how that's going to work? Is that going to be something that admin has to throw if they determine an incident's bad enough? Is it going to be something that you let iRacing decide? Kind of talk through how that's going to work as much as you can.
So from my understanding of it, it is going to be a system of there have been 16 incident points within a short period of time. I think it's like maybe 4 or 5 seconds. A caution will throw automatically. It will not have to be done from an admin or anything. So think track blockers at like Long Beach or a really, really bad start. as well as the fact that they will be disabled for a period at the end of the race. I'm not sure the exact period. I want to say it's 10 minutes, but could be 20. And yeah, we're hoping it allows people to not be taken out by massive incidents anymore and just have their race ruined.
I think that'll be really exciting to watch here as we watch a battle right now between Dylan Ackley and Cody Perodato. They are trying to get through traffic, but also battling for the overall race lead with 18 minutes left to go. Zach, obviously, you're part of the admin team here at Elbows Out, and also a good friend of mine, I have to say. It's amazing to see the growth of the league here. What are kind of the goals moving forward with the league, looking into next season, into 2026?
Next season is just continue to grow. We really want to grow our prototype field out and let them really blossom, have a field kind of how we have the GT3 field. Obviously, there's a limit to that, but going into 2026, we would love to see 3-class multi-class racing. So GTPs, LMP2s, and then, or I guess it would be 4-class because you have GTT Pro and AM.
That would be absolutely wild to see. I'm not going to lie, going and thinking about that. So for next season, can you confirm LMP2s will be the car of choice sticking around as Paul Nye is currently pulling it out, trying to get through lap traffic here? Your teammate going through, making some interesting moves as the leaders make his way through, but LMP2 is the car of choice for next season?
Yes, it's going to be LMP2. We want to keep some continuity there and allow that field to grow.
That makes sense, going through and watching. Zach, what is your favorite part of this season? What has been your favorite part of season 3 here?
Honestly, all the battles. I mean, every single race is something new. Every one race is great and clean, and there have just been a lot of good moments throughout this season.
I'd agree with that. Patrick, you got any questions for Zach here about anything while he's hanging out? Putting him on the spot. We didn't tell him we were going to do this, but we're going to do it. So anything to put him on the spot?
Can you give us one track that'll be on the calendar for next season?
Oh, goodness. I don't believe we can because we are waiting currently for the schedule to be released. I know we have the preliminary schedule, but those are always subject to change. And with the Mexico GP circuit coming out, it could be added to IMSA. So we are holding tight on releasing anything on that for the moment.
I see. And here's a question. You can't use your own, unfortunately, but has there been a livery that has stood out to you this season?
There has. It honestly, it's kind of a reference to the Monday Night League that we used to run, but Austin Dilts on the LMP2 and I believe Morgan and I think it's Smith. Their liveries really, really look good, especially on a Porsche GT3 car.
All right. Good answers. And yep, that's all the questions I have for you.
All right, let me make sure I've got who that was really quick, because we've got one little thing to sort out here on our side before we go and end this run, and I want to do it before we get too late into the race. So, who were those drivers? One more time for me.
Austin Dilts. Car number 092. He's in third right now. And then I guess I'll pick a different car just because. Oh, who is it? I do like the Tyler Deneck and Brian Metterly paint scheme too.
All right, so something we do here that we don't talk about. We've done it in other leagues. We haven't done it here in a hot minute, but let's very quickly go through. So Austin Dilts, Stenik Metterly, and Austin Dilts, your teammate as well, who I cannot remember off the top of my head.
I believe it's Morgan Smith.
Yeah,
Okay.
Morgan Smith.
So you all get honorary PTRTV $20 Wendy's gift certificates that are not valid after this broadcast ends. So you all are driving, you can't claim them right now, but they are not valid after the end of the broadcast. And they are fictional $20 currency. They are not real currency, but hey, you get a gift certificate to the $20 Wendy's here. So congratulations, it's on your screen. We'll send you a special one in your inbox as well. So that is a gift to you all for having the best paint schemes of the season going through. Where is Metterly as well? Let's show off that number 46 going through. But yeah, so we've been kind of going back and forth about this all season of who had the best paint schemes, and yeah, I very much agree with you, Stenik and Metterly. Good looking cars. So enjoy your virtual $20 Wendy's on us. Just don't actually try to take it to the Wendy's restaurant. They might look at you a little funny, but hey, there you go, guys. Congratulations as it stands as we continue to watch the final 13 minutes of this race here. And Patrick, it's been a good one here. Zach, obviously you've been racing it as well. Zach, you're welcome to hang out with us for the final 13 minutes. You're welcome to chill out here as we watch. Navin has now made a pit stop and drops out of the lead. That really gets the lead to Paul Nye, but only 1 second in the lead is Paul Nye, because right now is John Javicki there in second place close behind as Ackley and Peridotto continue to battle. 13 minutes left to go. It's hard to believe that this was a 90-minute race when we started, and we're 13 minutes left to go, and the battle for the lead is still 0.2 of a second.
That is crazy how hard these two have been fighting it out. I mean, fighting lap after lap gets exhausting after a while, but eventually you'll like to get some kind of breathing space. But Cody Peridotto's not giving Dylan Ackley that luxury of just breathing and taking a bit of a chill pill here. I mean, he is racing the soul out of that Soul of Racing LMP2 machine. I mean, you gotta give him a lot of credit though, because Cody Peridotto has been by far the most dominant driver of the season, especially in LMP2. But I mean, Dylan Ackley is showing him that that even though Cody Peridotto is referred to as an alien, not all aliens are invincible.
I would 100% agree with that here. And Zach, I have to ask you, it's been domination from Peridotto up front and both of those Devil Beaters Motorsports drivers. Who do we think they're going to retain the dominance moving forward, or do we think somebody's finally going to bring a challenge to them?
I think there's going to be a challenge brought to him with the likes of Ackley coming in and all the other new drivers we're getting. I think there will be a challenge going forward.
Do we think the challenge is currently racing? Do we think it's Ackley? Do we think it's someone else? Do we think it's just going to be a case of other drivers sort of stepping things up as they go?
I think it's going to be kind of all of the above. I think Ackley has a really good shot at giving him a run for his money if he continues showing out like he is tonight. I also believe the team of Austin Diltz and Morgan Smith can really push forward too.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Patrick, I'm going to ask you in GT3. Obviously, Metterly, Stenik, they've had great consistent runs, but in GT3 Pro, who's going to be your driver to watch into next season?
That is a interesting question. There's a lot of really strong drivers in GT3, both GT3 classes, but GT3 Pro in particular has some interesting ones. Is it okay if I give two? Because I have two drivers in mind at the moment.
Oh, absolutely.
I think some of the drivers that we're going to really want to keep an eye on is the number 184 the number 923 of Callan Tobin. Colin Bourdon, too, would be another driver to keep an eye on. Those two, and a driver who's been doing pretty strong here tonight, and I'm trying to find his name because it's a tricky one. The newcomer tonight of Navin Thapamagar might be a driver because he's been putting a lot of pressure and having some good battles with Paul Knight Sr. So if this 212 Audi comes back, he might be a driver to watch.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. And we've talked about AMs as it goes. Chiapuzzo, Murphy, and Toppin, 3 big battles. I think Nathan Hemperly and Benjamin Bechtel. Obviously, Benjamin Bechtel is a big favorite in the YouTube chat, but I do think that Bechtel is going to be one to watch in the next season. I think Benjamin Bechtel has been very consistent through the season, has really learned a lot and grown as a driver here through season 3, and I think going into season 4 is going to have a great run. Nathan Hemperly, I think, is in the same situation, has just been very consistent, smooth, and has been steadily improving in pace and skill, and I think we'll be in a great position for next season. Chiapuzzo, of course, Ethan Murphy, of course, they've had great runs going through. Kyle O'Grady right now currently leading, and I'm not just saying this because I like the Pedro's Tacos car, with the Brewing Co., the Pizza Port Brewing Co. Co-sponsor on there. But I definitely think Kyle O'Grady could be one to watch, and that's my opinion on AMs as it goes. And if anyone disagrees with me, well, I disagree with you. Gap has opened up to 2 seconds between Ackley and Perodato with 8.5 minutes to go. That is not due to any situation that I see on my side. I don't see anything that would have caused that. I think this is just natural traffic taketh away moments that are happening here as they go through and battles continue. Tobin is right on the back of Stenik here. 8 minutes left in this 2025 Season 3 finale here. The push for the championship 90 brought to you by IDI. Be sure to check them out at www.4idi.com and build something worth owning. Is Cal Tobin about built the rear end of a BMW of Stenik?
Yeah, that would definitely be a very unfortunate incident there between the Mustang. I'm sure everybody has heard about the jokes about Mustangs not being able to be trusted at car shows. I don't think Kellen Tobin wants to add to that stigma, but we'll see if the Mustang can get a clean pass around the BMW here, as we know that BMW is a bit of a tricky car to get around, especially when it is piloted by a champion in Tyler Stenik. Champion from last season, looking pretty likely to even be champion again this season in back-to-back seasons. So Tyler Stenik is definitely not an easy car to get past, that's for certain.
Yeah, that is one that if you push right, you can challenge Stenik, but Stenik has a defense that is very, very strong and is very, very wise in that BMW. And the BMW is a car that is very stable, and it's very, very friendly to the driver, and you can put on strong defenses in it. Nerdy, you may know this better than me, but you also drive the Mercedes, which is a very challenging car to drive in my experience compared to others.
Yeah, it does not have a lot of turn in. You'll see a lot of guys catching the Mercedes in the corner and then just not being able to do anything with it on the straights due to the top end there.
Yeah, it's an interesting car to kind of watch and see how it goes continuing along here and going through. Aiden Garcia right now is closing into Luke Patrick with 6 minutes left to go. Dylan Ackley still holding on up front, 1.8 seconds back. Cody Perodato, as Cody Perodato continues to try to catch up to our race leader. Looking at the last 3 laps of times here, I mean, is not making up near enough time to actually close in. I think traffic has played a big part in this. I think, unfortunately, Cody Perodato probably going to have to settle that car in for a P2. But you know, when the championship's in your hands here, Patrick, P2, P1, what difference does it make? You won the championship by almost 100 points.
I know Cody Perodato would have loved to end this championship on a high note, but like I said earlier, I mean, Dylan Ackley is not a driver who has competed here at Elbows Out Racing before tonight, so I mean, his championship is really under no threat at all, to be honest. So it'll be a bummer for Perodato, but I think he can take solace in the fact that he did end off the season on a podium, and that's something he could take a little bit of extra happiness from. Is that, well, it would have been awesome to get this win, but you know what? P2 ain't too bad. But I do agree that Dylan Ackley might be a bit of a problem to Cody Perodato in retaining that driver's championship in LMP2. But sometimes some drivers are just really, really good at one track, and this may be the case for Dylan. He might struggle at other circuits, so we'll just have to see how the next season plays out.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how next season goes. And again, the one thing I love about Elbows Out, you don't have to wait super long to get to the next season. You just sort of have to give it a minute and let it go, and then you get there. It's so awesome to get to just have that 1 week of relaxation and then go right back in for the next 12 rounds. Callan Tobin right now still putting pressure on Tyler Stenick. This is arguably our closest battle on track as it stands right now, as they continue to apply pressure and go through, but I don't think Tobin's going to have enough left to go in these 4 minutes, looking at approximately 5 laps of racing remaining for the leader of Dylan Ackley going through. Other battles on track to keep an eye on here. Hugo Ortiz, who is trying to chase down Ethan Murphy. A different class battle there as they go, but still continuing to find things through. Half a second separating them down the front stretch, down into that hard and difficult turn 1 as they go through and continue to battle it out down through the infield. You see Eric Mack there in the background. He is currently sitting P4. He has dropped behind Austin Diltz by a few seconds. Running into the sunset we go. Such a great way to end this season here. 3.5 minutes left to go. And a big shout out from all of us here at PTR TV, between myself, Patrick, Corey, Andre, who have all taken a part in this league and in this season, getting to cover things. Obviously, a big thank you goes out to Corey for covering when I was sick a few weeks ago and covering that VIR race. I was very upset to not get to commentate VIR. But it was a great one to kind of watch and get to enjoy in the back end. So big thank you goes through for everyone that makes this possible, all the admin who I get to interact with on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, except for Nerney, of course. Nerney, just, I have to interact with him because he's an admin, and, you know, I kind of just tolerate it. I'm kidding. Nerney has gotten me out of some trouble spots with personal car issues, so definitely all a great group of guys to have here and be able to interact with and bring their league to the big screen. With that being said, Callan Tobin right on the back of Stenick here, 1/4 of a second going into the final couple of corners. Let's see if he can secure the deal with 2 minutes left to go in this race.
It is going to be interesting to see if Callan Tobin can go ahead and get this move done. It is certainly possible, but I mean, if we know anything about Tyler Stenick, it is that his defense is not going to make things easy. Passing Stenick is much easier said than done, but that's not going to stop Callan Tobin from trying to fire around the inside of turn 1, a little bit over the curbs. He got the pass for about a split second, a little bit of a love tap there onto the number 1 BMW of Tyler Stenick, and that might be his last chance at trying to get this pass done and dusted. Little over a minute and a half left to go of the entire season, which is pretty crazy to think about, as we go ahead and see the LMP2 getting through. We'll see how this affects the battle. That is Nicholas Poletti in the number 56 car in P7 overall, going ahead and getting on past. And now actually Callan Tobin's dropped off quite a bit off of the back of Tyler Stenick here, which is unfortunate considering he did try to get his last ditch effort dive up the inside, but I just don't think he's going to have another chance at it.
I don't think he is, but he may impress us into turn 1. Let's see, he ramps that curve pretty hard here as he goes through, send it hard around. Can he make this pass work down into turn 1? He's going to have 1, maybe 2 more chances to make that work. 45 seconds left to go on the clock as we go. Dylan Ackley here, the race leader. Where is he on track? Well, he is currently coming out onto the banking as well. So does he get the white flag this time by, let's see what Barney the flagman decides to do here as he comes through. He's going through turns 14, 15, 16 now here in LMP2 as he comes around. Now he's out of the final corner as he goes out. He's going to go down the inside. White flag this time by. 1 lap left to go in the season, and it is currently Dylan Ackley who leads things out.
Indeed, Dylan Ackley is ahead by a pretty considerable margin, about 1.5 seconds, dropping a little bit now, but Cody Pardano does have some traffic to go ahead and get through as it is white flag conditions. Like I said earlier, he's got to get past the number 26 of or sorry, the 79 actually. So he's got to get past Christopher Ondera. 8 laps down, he does get through, but that did add a bit of a time to the gap between himself and Dylan Ackley. And I think this race might just be pretty much wrapped up here for Peridotto. He's going to definitely give it the old college try to get a move done, but I just don't think there's enough time. And Dylan Ackley's put on one heck of a drive, as Callan Tobin is still pretty much right up the gearbox of Tyler Stenick as they go in and make their way through. And Tyler Stenick is going to hold that position coming across the line. And I think they are, still white flag, so still one more lap to go for them. One more lap for this battle, but we got to give a lot of credit to Dylan Ackley here.
That we do. Dylan Ackley, it's his first race with Elbows Out Racing. Just joined the league earlier this week, going through. But I tell you what, if you're going to join a league and show up on a high note, you might as well. Dylan Ackley comes across the line, gets the checkered flag, but all eyes go back to Cody Peridotto, your LMP2 champion here in Elbows Out Racing. Back in the background, it is going to be Paul Nye Sr., Paul Nye the donut guy, Paul Nye the victory guy, Paul Nye the boss man, whatever you want to call him, but he'll bring it through the final few corners here. He's had a great season in GT3 Pro, some ups, some downs, some all the way arounds, and in the end, he is going to be finding his way through in for a run of a win in the run. He's had 2 poles, and this will be win number 3 on the season as he comes through. Final couple of corners now, he will find his victory here today.
Indeed, it's been a very awesome drive here from Paul Nye Sr. He's going to come across the line. He wins in GT3 Pro here at the 90 Minutes of Indiana. And then Kylo Grady going ahead and putting the parent machine to the top of the standings in GT3, or sorry, the top of the results here in GT3, not championship standings, but Kylo Grady has had a fantastic drive in a number 8 McLaren, and he's only got a few more corners left to navigate before his season can truly be sunsetted here, as Parker Chiapuzio is going to go ahead and make his way through as well. Let's see if he's going to go ahead and keep that P3. I think he will. He's got a massive gap to Dayton McGuire, about a 23 second gap roughly, or might be a bit less, but we'll see how this is going to play out, although I think we all know the answer to that. Parker Chiapuzio's got a little bit to go around the circuit, and then he should be GT3 AM champion.
Indeed, I think actually he has finished it through. I think they crossed the line just off of Ackley. I'm trying to... they have already crossed the line actually going through. So we will wait official confirmation on GT3 AM, because coming in it was 18 points. Chiapuzzo and Murphy. Murphy did finish ahead of Chiapuzzo, but it was only by 3 positions. So I do believe Chiapuzzo will secure this championship with no problems as he comes across here to the front of the field, bringing the car through. So your champions, as I have them, and I will be corrected, I'm sure, by Nerney if I am wrong, although I don't believe I am. It is indeed going to be Cody Peridotto and Devil Beaters Motorsports in the LMP2 championship that take that one through. At Fair Enough Racing, Tyler Stenick will bring their way through in GT3 Pro. And then in GT3 AM, I do have Parker Chiapuzzo as the champion, just 15 points over Ethan Murphy. If I am wrong on that, somebody let me know.
We'll have to see about that one. But, I mean, it's been a fantastic season for all of our champions, for all of our drivers in general. It has been a fantastic season. Already looking forward to next week when we have the fun race, and then the week after when we kick off 2025 season number 4. It's going to be a lot of fun. More competition, same cars, but it's going to be the same level of excitement week in and week out, no doubt.
Let's see here. Let's see if we can gather up our winners and our champions as they go through. We'll summon all of them up into the principal's office as we do sometimes, because they always love it. Let's see here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, give me a drum roll. Someone, anyone. I don't have a drum roll, so virtual drum roll coming your way as we get the final full screen results here for Elbows Out Racing League for the final time here in 2025 at a Sunset Indianapolis. It is going to be after 66 laps of racing in the LMP2 category. Dylan Ackley takes the win over 2 seconds over your 2025 Season 3 champion, Cody Peredato. Austin Dilton, third. Eric Mack, P4. Luke Patrick in fifth. Aiden Garcia, P6. Nicholas Paletti, P7. Paul Boyle in P8. Morgan Smith, P9. Malik Bass in 10th. And Fozzie Fazillo finds P11. And GT3 Pro, they finish as follows. Paul Nye Sr. in the lead. John Javicki in P number 2. Tyler Stenick, your 2025 Season 3 champion, into P3. Callan Tobin in 4th. Colin Bourdon, P5. Brian Metterly, P6. Peter Nodwell in 7th. Tyler Cook. Nevin Thappa-Magar in P9. And Emily Milkey in P number 10. From there, it was Travis Bell, Mike Sermon, Hugo Ortiz, Zachary Nerney, and Joel Bandera, the 15 GT3 pros that took on today's race. And then in GT3 AM, Kyle O'Grady finishes ahead of Ethan Murphy. And then your champion provisionally in GT3 AM, Parker Chiapuzio in 3rd. Dayton McGuire, P4. Matthew Santerciero in P number 5. Nathan Hemperly, P6. Matt Toppin, P7. Dwight Hibbs, Maxwell Woodmansee, Daniel Hanero, your top 10 in AM. And as we go from there, Benjamin Bechtel, Jacob Wilson, Christopher Ondera, Vosselman, Burns, Wyatt Kennedy, Aaron Clayball, Jonathan Lanton, and Andre Wedderburn, the 19 GT3 AMs that took on this push for the championship 90 tonight. Now, with all that being said, let's find what drivers we have available, if they are available, and who the champions are. And I'll tell you what, we're going to start this one out with, let's see, who do we have? Dylan Ackley. Let's start out with our overall winner, the new kid on the block, not Jenny on the block, but the new kid on the block of Dylan Ackley. Dylan, good evening, and welcome to Elbows Out with a doggone good win. How are you feeling, man?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. It was a great race. A good way to like the first. It's a good first race to come to join this league. You know.
Man, it was awesome to get to see you show up and kind of, you went very early dueling it out with the Giants. I hope you know that there was no sort of hesitation in it. You were right there in the thick of it, battling with the big dogs, I'll say it, going through. So you had a great run going through, man. What was your strategy going into this 90-minute race?
No, yeah, Cody was right behind me pretty much the entire race. It was super close. I think I had better top end than Cody. I think I was running a much lower downforce setup, which helped me stay ahead. I was just saving fuel the first stint, really, just trying to shorten my pit stop as much as possible.
Definitely think you did a good job there. And I got to ask the $1 million question here. Will we see you in next season? Obviously, next week is a fun race, and then we kick off 2025 season 4. Will you be back for next season?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely plan to participate in next season much more heavily.
Awesome, man. It's going to be great to see you. Anyone you want to thank or shout out really quick before we let you go?
Nope. Just thank you guys for commentating.
Awesome. Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate it. And
we'll appreciate it.
Hopefully see you next week if you're in the fun race. If not, then I look forward to seeing what you do next season, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, guys.
All right. And I think we're going to do all of the winners first here. So, Patrick, let's grab our GT3 Pro winner, Paul Nye, the donut guy, and Nerney wants to ask him a question here before we get things going. So Paul Nye, the victory guy, is in. Zach Nerney, what's your question for him, man?
Yeah, just hard fought this season. You got 3 wins. It was awesome to watch. I just was really curious what your favorite part of being teammates with me was.
The second half, when we were some of the fastest drivers out there, definitely much better than the first half.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And now I'm going to actually turn it over to the professional Patrick to continue this interview.
All right, so Paul Nye, you had a fantastic race here today. Definitely a better second half of the season for you. So overall, how do you think your season went for you?
Like I said, second half definitely better than the first. First half just had trouble focusing, trying to get used to the new tire model and the new car just wasn't jiving with me right away. So it took some time to really get my feet under me in this. And since this season, I was just full participation into the league, dumping all my time into that, not doing any officials. I think I just was not getting enough practice early on. And so as the season went on and I started to iron out those kinks, started figuring out that I was just pushing it too hard and trying too hard and forcing it never works. So as I got later in the season, I realized just wait for the car to come to me, take it easier, and seems like I finally figured something out.
So over the course of the season, you are Paul Nye, the boss man guy, the donut guy, the winner guy. Do you think next season we might be calling you Paul Nye, the champion guy?
Well, I'm already the season 1 champion, so you could start that now.
No,
All right,
no.
we'll see.
Can't start that till you get it on a broadcasted season.
That's fair. Hey, technically, I won the championship on the first race that you guys did for us. Just saying. But no, we're gonna give it a push. I'm gonna take a lot of time over week 13 to find what car works best for me in the new build of the game the new build of the sim, and hopefully hit the ground running in season 4 instead of waiting until the middle of the season to figure it out.
So do you predict that you think the Mercedes might be the best car from you, or are you expecting to switch cars coming into next season?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure. I tested the McLaren and the Corvette and the Mercedes when I did my week 13 testing before season 3, and Mercedes was the fastest at that time. I expected it would have been the McLaren. So the Mercedes was a pleasant surprise on the new tire model. I'm not quite sure what to expect in the next build. I'm going to be trying a lot of things. I'm going to give the Aston Martin a chance as well, and we'll see what works.
All right, congratulations on the win, Paul Nye, and we'll see you next week at the fun race.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Awesome. Big shout out to Paul. And I tell you what, again, continuing with the winners here, before we let the champions kind of dive into their season as a whole, do we have Brandon handy? Brandon Burns, Kyle O'Grady. Let me put some respect on Kyle O'Grady's name. Kyle O'Grady, my friend. Why did it show me Brandon Burns in a weird spot? Oh, it's where I'm at in the sim. So Kyle O'Grady. First off, I got to know about the parrot. Where do you get these tacos from? And can you bring me some?
Yeah, I wish, man. The whole livery is like a homage to all the local brewery and food in Southern California. So the parrot's actually a brewery. I just like it. I think it's funny. So yeah, just that's all my liveries now. I put that guy on there.
I respect it. I appreciate it, man. It's so fun, and it's a good way to get some good broadcast time other than just winning in general. But excuse me, talk me through your race. Seems like this race was pretty hard fought for a lot of people going through. Seems like you had a good time though.
Yeah, it was a good race. I typically am kind of middle pack even in AM with pace, but been putting in a lot of practice this week. Got the 6 hour coming up with my team on Saturday. I think this track just really clicks for some reason. And I just found it. And earlier this week, I was driving a Corvette and I was maybe a second a lap slower. The McLaren just clicks with me and found a lot of pace. But there was a lot of pressure from behind. Ethan was coming up really quick. Some traffic kind of helped me out, hurt him, go back and forth, but it was good.
Yeah, it definitely was fun to watch, man. And I got to ask, what are your plans for next season? We sticking with the McLaren? We going to change cars? What are we thinking for 2025 season 4?
I really like the McLaren. I might see how the Porsche is doing. The sad part is, 3 weeks out of the season, I'm gone on work. So at a little bit of a points disadvantage there. I know we have the 2 drop weeks, but it'd be awesome to be a bit more consistent this next season and maybe actually be up there in the AM championship.
Absolutely, man. Well, good luck on next season. Hopefully we see you next week for the fun race, man. But either way, I look forward to seeing how you do next season, man. Are you going to be at the fun race?
I will. I'll see you guys there.
Fantastic. We'll see you next week, man. Take it easy.
Cool. Appreciate it.
All right. And Patrick, you have our GT3 AM champion currently standing by with you, Parker Chiapuzzo.
Parker, congratulations on winning the GT3 AM Championship for 2025, season number 3. How do you feel?
Thank you. This feels great. This was a close battle for the championship. And we had a lot of good battles and races throughout the season. So shout out to the other guys and other drivers that were in the fight, and looking forward to starting again from scratch in a couple weeks.
So next season, do you think you're gonna be in the same car? Are you gonna stick with the McLaren, or are you gonna explore your options?
I think explore my options a little bit. I've driven the McLaren for 2 seasons now, and I've really enjoyed it, but might try a few other ones during week 13 and see what else clicks.
All right. What was your favorite race of the season, if you had to pick one?
That's a good question. I hate to say it, but not Indy. Today was not my best race. Ethan, shout out to Ethan. He had a lot of pace, and I think put me 20 seconds to shame by the end of it, or something like that. So not Indy, but maybe Hockenheim was another fun one, and same with Long Beach. So looking forward to another season of it.
Last question before we let you go. I know you were shouting out a lot of people, but is there anyone else you'd like to thank or shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, I mean, thanks to you guys, the broadcasters, and thanks to Paul. He puts in a ton of work for this league to make things run smoothly, that most drivers probably wouldn't see behind the scenes. So yeah, shout out to Paul and to the other admins, and yeah, thank you everyone for keeping elbows out going.
All right. Once again, congratulations on the championship, and we will see you either next week or the week after.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome. And from there, let's go ahead and pull in our GT3 Pro Champion, winning things out by over 40 points. It is going to be none other than the number 1 of Fair Enough Racing's Tyler Stenick. Tyler. Sir.
What's up, guys?
I'm doing pretty well. You are a champion. How are you doing?
Happy. It was a fun season. Had some great battles. Especially like even this past race, it was a blast. Super happy with the outcome, and it was definitely close. And it looks like we have a lot of new people too, so I'm excited for next season too. It's going to be even more difficult.
Man, you had a great season all the way through. 2 poles. Now it's 3 wins, 9 top 5s, 9 top 10s, running 10 out of 12 races. How would you paint this season as a whole for yourself?
On a personal level, surprising. I knew in the beginning we thought the BMW was the choice, and then we learned really quickly that it wasn't by margins. So I was very happy that I was able to extract everything I could out of it, because I felt like I was just going to be on the back leg the whole time. I'm happy I was able to avoid any major instances and just try to have a good time. Colin gave me a great battle. It was getting really close. Unfortunate for last race. Before that, he had the drive-through. It would have even been closer. And then with Paul and everything like that, I think next season with the new tire model, everyone's gonna have a better idea of what they want to do, and it's gonna be a close one. So to win back-to-back seasons though is awesome, but I don't think next season's gonna be as easy as a feat.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch next season. And I got to ask you, what are the big plans for next season? Obviously, we're going to be chasing a 3-peat. Do you think that's in the cards? It sounds like you think it's going to be pretty difficult.
As long as I never drive the BMW again, there's a possibility. That aspect. Well, I need to just hopefully figure out a strong car that can compete. For example, even like Indy, the BMW is almost 5/10 slower in any setup shop. I mean, so that's where everyone, Tobin, all the Mustangs, everything like that, I had to drive the wheels off the car just to stay ahead of them. And luckily there's such a tight track, I was able to sit where I was. But it's gonna be a good one, especially with all the new updates and the BOP they're doing with the next update. It's gonna be fun.
I definitely think it's going to be exciting to watch and see how things go, man. Congratulations on the GT3 Pro Championship back to back. Retains the number one for another year. Well, another season if you want it. We'll see what you decide there, of course. Man, congratulations. That's about all I got for you. We'll let you go relax and enjoy. It's been a long race.
Shout out to my teammate Brian. I think point wise, our team did win the team championship, so it was a definitely struggling season. He had to miss some race. He had to miss a race, and we just were having difficulties with the car. So I'm happy we were able to pull away that win as well, and I'm excited for next season.
Absolutely, man. Congratulations, and we'll see you either next week or the week after, depending on if you run the fun race.
I'll be here, and thank you guys again. Thanks for everyone puts it together, Paul, all the admins behind the scenes, and both of you guys broadcasting every week. It's awesome, and happy to be a part of it.
Awesome. Thanks, Tyler. Take it easy, man.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Patrick, let's grab Cody Peredato, the overall champion here in Elbows Out Season 3.
Cody Peredato, overall champion here at 2025 Season 3 Elbows Out Racing. How do you feel about that?
It feels pretty damn good. This is number 7 for me in the league, but this is probably easily the most competitive that I've been a part of. So feels good to go against some really fast people and still come out on top.
It was a pretty dominant run for you throughout this championship. Is there anyone that you think can potentially step up to the challenge against you, whether it's your teammate of Antonio Costa or Dylan, who gave you a very good race today, or anyone else?
There's a lot of people in the P2 field that could very easily be right up there where I'm at, or even further. I mean, Costa has been consistently right at the same pace, if not faster, pretty much every week. He just ran into some technical issues this season that dropped him out of a lot of positions where he was leading, or could very easily have gotten into the lead from where he was at. So from a few seasons ago, I know very well that Costa can give me a really good run for my money over the course of a season if he was able to get by without a bunch of weird technical gremlins showing up. Dylan's really fast, showed that today. I'm looking forward to racing with him some more. Austin Diltz is fast, Mac is fast, Malik is fast. So I think there's a lot of opportunities there for some closer championship runs over the course of a season.
Is there any track in particular that you really want to see on next season's calendar?
I want to see Imola personally. That's one of my personal favorites that I've not gotten to properly race in the league before. So I'd hope we get a chance to try that out. I don't know how well it would work as a multi-class track, but that's a really fun one.
I think the World Endurance Championship does a pretty good job around that track, so I think it'd be fine. But anyways, last question before we go ahead and let you go, Mr. Champion Man. Is there anyone you want to thank or shout out before we let you go?
Obviously a huge shout out and thank you to my teammate Costa for we were pushing each other the whole way through the season. I really appreciate all of the time that he put in to get the setups for us and stuff. Even though he wasn't able to race today, the setup I was running was still from him, which I really appreciate. Huge thank you to Paul for the amount of time and effort he's put into making this by far our biggest season that we've had as a league. I really appreciate you two doing great work every week. Makes it a lot more fun to get to watch back the races and everything. So thank you.
All right, once again, congratulations on another championship, and we'll see either next week or the week after.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I do think that is going to be where we end this broadcast. It's where we end the season. So, obviously, fun race next week. But, Patrick, we got to end 2025 Season 3 off on a high note. So, any final thoughts before we send this one off into the literal Indiana sunset and get ourselves at least, well, no, I won't even say a week of rest, because we're going to literally take that week and go have some fun.
I just want to give a massive shout out to everybody on the admin staff here at Elbows Out Racing. This league wouldn't exist without you guys. You guys have done a fantastic job. It was a fantastic season. Already looking forward to the next one and the fun race. Also want to shout out IDI for sponsoring the league for the season. And of course, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to jump in here each week and commentate on some of the best racing ever known.
Well, man, Patrick, you've been awesome to have in the booth. So thank you. A big thank you to everybody who hangs out week to week here in the YouTube chat and watches. Definitely genuinely appreciate each and every one of you hanging out with us. It makes things a lot of fun to have you all watching and interacting in the YouTube chat. Again, we are chasing 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're almost at 1,800, so make sure you like and subscribe. Do all the fun things to support us here and what we do for free. Big thank you to everyone at Elbows Out. Big thank you to, of course, Corey, Andre behind the scenes, Patrick, you as well. It's great to get to do this thing that is genuinely just a hobby of virtual racing and get to do it for fun and bring, this small little bit of joy out into the real world, which can be a scary place. But we're going to send off 2025 Season 3 into the literal sunset and let this be that. So on behalf of Patrick, on behalf of everyone at PTR TV and at Elbows Out Racing, we've taken you start to finish for this entire season. Be sure to join us for a fun race in a week, and then join us for the next season when we do it all yet again. Good night.